What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is March 30th, 2020, and we're back again on the charts for another market insight. So this week is NFP week, and it's always going to be very big. We're going to figure out just how much the pandemic has affected the U.S. job market. And obviously the numbers are looking pretty bearish, and we'll go over those first. But before we do that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment on this video. If you're watching on YouTube, we pick winners of our contest every Friday, and the potential prize is a full month in our trading room, so all our sessions and live signals. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and then tune in on Friday when we pick our new winner. Also, our Discord promotion, our free access for a week, ends tomorrow. It actually ends on March 31st. So if you have any buddies that want to get on our Discord just to see the various channels, like our chart work, our minor analysis, major analysis, user requested TA, and all our signals, they have around 24 hours to take one quick peek before they can decide if they want to become a member or not. So make sure you send that invite link to your buddy. All you have to do is send the sign up form. The link to sign up is in the description of this video. Send that to your buddy and then get them on, and then get them to either message me or Allison or chat room admin, and we'll give them the access. But yeah, 24 hours, guys, so make sure they take advantage, just so they get a feel for the Discord. So today I'm going to be going over mostly the majors and then some pair recommendations. Obviously I can't go over every pair because this session will run to 2 hours long, but I hope you guys understand. If you have any other questions, or if I don't attend to your pair, I'll attend to it after the session or throughout the day. But it is a Monday, so trust me, you're not missing much, if anything. But the first few things we have to do is talk about the fundamental schedule. Obviously, this week is very important. Let me say good morning to my people on the portal, and also to everyone on YouTube. Good morning, guys. I hope you are well, guys and gals. While I go through this session, I will answer your questions periodically. But first off, we have to talk about the fundamentals. So today is pretty quiet, other than some New Zealand, business confidence later in the day. No real forecast for it. Tomorrow, however, is very important. We got the consumer confidence for the dollar, and it's forecasted to be at 115.1. Obviously, last month it was 130.7. So any number less than this should be bearish for the dollar, obviously, and some CAD GDP. But very quiet news week to start off. Obviously, Wednesday we have the ADP NFP employment change. And you can see right here, the forecast is negative 150K jobs versus last month where we added 183K. So obviously, if a number comes close to this or worse than this number, it's definitely going to be very bad for the dollar. And this week, I'm actually looking for buys against the dollar. In particular, USDCH shorts, possible pound dollar longs, possible gold longs. So we'll go over those, but this is going to be key, these two events. I think this will set the stage for NFP. For example, if tomorrow's consumer confidence is bullish, and then we have Wednesday's ADP as being bullish, then the NFP numbers on Friday may turn up to be bullish, and therefore we might be looking at buying the dollar and shorting pound and gold. Okay, so Thursday, pretty quiet. I mean, unemployment claims, we know how bad they were. So this is going to come up again. And the previous was negative 3.28 million. They should have a negative here. I don't know why it doesn't. And then Friday, obviously, the official NFP report. It's supposed to be negative 81K jobs lost. I think it's going to be a bit more than that. And unemployment should rocket, or forecasted to rocket, to 3.8%. 3.5% was their unemployment for last month. And this is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know if this is a low end of the approximations, but I think this will be much higher. But who knows what happens behind closed doors. But I mean, based on the unemployment claims, the unemployment rate should be a bit higher than 3.8%. Either way, we are pretty bearish going into this week against the dollar. So we will be looking to take advantage of that. So first off, we're going to look at euro, and what I want to do really quickly is actually just get a clean look at all these pairs, because there's a lot that's happened, and let me just see if I can cover some pair recommendations as we go along. So cable dollar will definitely cover that. Gold will cover that. Oil, I just entered short for oil, so we'll take a look at that. We have a lot of pound yen, and that was a setup I sent on Friday, just a potential trade idea, so we'll give that a look. Obviously, I don't enter trades on Friday or Sunday. NSD CHF, NSD yen, Aussie yen. Okay, these are a lot. So USD CHF is a common thing. We'll look at that. And again, a lot of CAD and USD yens, pound dollar, pound yen. Okay, a lot of pairs. Okay, so I'll try to find some commonalities and get those covered. So the euro, I think the euro is gonna be the major player this week. Obviously, the euro is gonna dictate a lot of what's going to happen to NZD. I keep saying the NZD. I got to train myself NZD. And also the pound. So the weekly price action's pretty mumbled up for the euro. But just heading to the monthly, doing what we know how to do. And I mean, look at this monthly candle. This is insane. This is the definition of fundamentals, indecision, you name it. I mean, equal to the top and bottom. Very tight body. I mean, this thing looks like a... that's just weird, right? That's hard to make a kind of note of. If you're a beginner trader, it's definitely difficult to make sense of this type of price action, but we'll try to do our best. So first off, we're just going to identify this zone down here that was support for the euro, and it could go either way. I mean, it's really waiting for NFP right now. You know, if there's more stimulus packages for the U.S. economy, I mean, these guys have already pumped 1.5 trillion into the markets, and then a $2 trillion dollar bill. So I mean, these guys are doing whatever they can to keep this thing afloat. Now, if they have that come into this week, a new stimulus package, and then NFP numbers are terrible, then euro can definitely gain and go back to the upside, targeting maybe 1.13 thousand area. So we do see that range come into play here, and you know, we did have a pretty violent wick down. We didn't go all the way down to the bottom of the zone, so do take note of that. This might just be some consolidation before we head over lower. What I mean by that is just, you can see kind of, you know, these past few months we've been kind of stuck here. The bodies of the candles, nothing really has broken towards the downside to get to the range. So that's a key note. But we are showing reluctancy. Last week we actually printed a pretty decent hammer, so I do think the momentum is shifting upwards. Now let's take a quick look at the weekly and the daily, and then we'll cover potential entries. So weekly, here we go. This is part of the reason why the price action's all messed up. You have candles like this, huge bearish candles, followed by a huge equivalent bullish candle. So obviously the momentum from last week is probably going to carry over. This was actually a bullish engulfing candle as it engulfs the body of this one. So I do think this is time for us to maybe look at longs, and we can identify a support in recent price action right here. And I'm just checking the stream. The stream is green, so what I did was actually got a new network adapter over the weekend, and it's looking like it's doing good. So I don't want to jinx it, but that's good for me. Anyways, so yeah, we need a support to hold, and it has so far. What we can do is, based on this weekly candle, probably the daily right now, it's probably gonna make a deep retrace back to the support at 1.09330. And then rebound. I keep trying to sneeze. Or alternatively, it could just continue going up. I mean, you can see the past few days, right? For example, on Friday we printed a pretty solid bullish hammer, which is a good candle in an uptrend, signifying another leg up. So the current candle right now is also trying to be a hammer on the daily time frame. So in my personal opinion, if we can just hold this support right here on the daily time frame, if you can stay above 1.10, Let me try to expand this out. 1.10 200. Okay, if we can stay above 1.10 200, that's going to keep the momentum going to the upside. Okay, any 4-hour closure down here is probably going to take it down lower, and that's what we'll have to watch out for today. So I'm going to just identify a couple targets. For upside, the target will be, 1.13 thousand like we discussed, and I'll just get a horizontal rate, plot that out. So 1.13 thousand. If we stay above this and we start showing bullish signs. Now, in terms of shorts, we'll probably target these lows down here, the last major rebound. And this is as far as we went during this pandemic. So if we do, for some reason, revert back down here, we probably will make a visit to 1.06870. So we'll take a look on the 4-hour and determine if we do have a long or a short. Now, the 4-hour is pretty interesting. Momentum during the New York session really pushed this thing down. Obviously, Wall Street just opened up, but this thing needs to stay afloat above this level. It needs to stay afloat. If it does break it, it has to be, not a bearish break. So, for example, late last week we had a break of this support, but this candle wasn't really a bearish candle per se, and you had a quick bullish reaction back up. So this could just be a creation of a new high-low before we continue going up. But this really has made the entry a bit easier for us. And that's basically saying that if we don't clear this previous high, then we're not going up. Basically, at the bare minimum, we want Euro USD to come back above here and stay above these highs. Okay. And if the current 4-hour candle can't do this for us, if it can't go up to here and then show us maybe a reaction like this, right? This is what we want. Oh, that's a nice candle. It's a nice candle. So if it can't, this 4-hour candle can't push up here, and the next 4-hour candle can't close above this this horizontal wave to continue going up, then most likely than not, we've created new lows here. We're looking for shorts, and that's just going to be how it is. So I'll put alerts in both directions to kind of identify where we're headed. But it's, like I said, it's Monday. We don't have any rush to get into anything. Last week we kind of forced things during the beginning of the week. Not really forced it, but we probably should have waited, and we did suffer a minor consequence. So I would not do that this week. But this is what we have. I mean, we did a top-down analysis, and it is showing a potential long, but we do have to respect price action, and we need to clear at least these miniature highs to confirm our bullish bias. And this will be sent in, and hopefully the alerts are shown when this gets sent through. Maybe not, so I'll put it in the description. No worries. I see the chat going off. Let's see. All right, so we'll look at pound dollar, since that's a common pair recommendation. We'll look at pound dollar. Pound dollar, pound yen, gold, oil, CAD yen. We'll look at, and USD CHF. So those are good pairs. Okay, so again, I'm just going to remove these drawings just to get a clear vision. And you can see the similar candle that we spoke of for Euro USD, this huge wick to the downside. And it did create historic lows down here. We actually have an alert for potential shorts, but I don't know if we're going to get there anytime soon. But anyways, we're going to identify our support zone on the monthly. Very simple. And also our resistance is right up above here. Like that. And very evident that we are stuck in a trading range, right? This candle at one point was all the way down here, and he retraced almost 1,000 pips back up. That's volatility for you. Anyways, when we go to the weekly time frame, you can see exactly what just happened. So last week we had a pretty good short kind of signal, quote unquote signal, to go short long term. I mean, this candle wasn't exactly a bearish closure. just because the wick to the bottom was longer than the wick to the top. But nonetheless, this would have tricked a lot of beginners to swing short this thing. But you can see the next candle was a bullish hammer. And this is the trade setup I'm most intrigued about this week for longs, in my opinion. So, and just in the past, you can see whenever we have hammers, and I don't know why, but the pound really loves its hammers. So whenever it has these bullish hammers off support, you always know a rally is coming, right? And so, whoops, can't believe I did that. If we just shift over again and to past price action, let me just extend this over. You can see whenever we have these hammers on the support, we always make rallies. And this is a commonality, and you can also see this on resistance turned into support. So this is our resistance zone. We broke it. When we came back for the retest, we printed this perfect bullish hammer. We printed another one, and we had a rally. Similar thing can be seen across pound pairs. And so right now, last week we did have a nice significant bullish hammer, a lot of momentum. And for this week, for us to just go against this momentum is pretty hard. I think it's going to be definitely a push to the upside. And if you notice, when you do have these huge candles on the weekly, and it's the first candle, the price action tends to respect it. So if I just show you, for example, the recent example was this weekly candle. After this huge bearish candle, we did have a week of sell-offs, right? Again for this big bullish candle. This candle is bigger than the past maybe 50 candles, right? But once we had this, the next week we obviously had a significant buy, right? And that's common with pound. It tends to respect momentum pretty well. So just based off the weekly time frame, I do see buys, and the daily is actually providing a good place to go long, as it's doing a retrace. And usually you want to enter on a retrace, but you have to make sure you're entering on a retrace and not a trend shift. So right off the bat, this kind of the bottom of this wick right here, which should be support on the small time frame, is where we're going to buy from. So on the small time frame, you can see the exact support we just drew up. You can see a lot of wicks in and around this area. You can even define the consolidation like this. And basically any break of this consolidation box should take us higher. And if you notice the price action, and this is why you study candles really is, just taking a note of past price action. So this was a support we created down here, right? A lot of wicks. Now when we started this rally, we had a push, and then we had consolidation. We had a push, and now we're consolidating, right? Now this is just basically what you're trying to replicate here. And now we have this exact scenario. When we had this consolidation, we had similar characters, a lot of hammers, indecision. That's where we're printing your hammers, spinning tops, etc. So our main entry criteria is basically breaking this consolidation box on the 4-hour time frame. And the break obviously needs to be a bullish candle, right? So a candle like this is fine. A candle like this is ideal. A bullish hammer off this zone is fine, and we can take it to the upside. Now, just looking to the left, first levels to target would probably be around 1.26225. Right, and then the next one would probably be around 1.27,000. But first off, we need to target this level, and then we can talk about future levels. But I'll plot these levels as well. So 1.28,000 is good, and if we do get as high as that, and who knows, we might. Now obviously 1.30,000 is the goal target. Okay, and that's the long idea. This will technically be a considered a swing trade, but to be honest, with this volatility, this could be done in a few days. Just to give you guys an idea, last Monday was, I believe it was March 23rd. Let's see, where were we on the 23rd? We were on the 23rd. On the 23rd, we were down here, right? And this is just the nature of the beast. So on the 23rd, we were down here. You can see the date. In the course of, let's see how many days. In the course of 4 days, we covered this much ground. Almost 900 pips. in just 4 days, 4 trading days. Pound dollar covered 900 pips. Okay, and usually a swing trade is usually at least a few days, but typically a week to longer than a few weeks, right? That's the classical definition. But these days with the volatility, swing trades are becoming intraday trades, right? And if you're in the correct side of the trend, then a larger stop loss than normal shouldn't really affect you, because you can always take a smaller position size. So who is to say we can't replicate a 900 pip move like this all the way to the upside? Just simply take this move and put it here, and who knows, we might get 1.30 thousand, even 1.32 thousand. So that's what I see for pound dollar, and I'll just plot out the the profit and stop loss. So entry, which should be somewhere around here, could be here, could be here, could be here, but we just need that 4-hour closure. This is just an arbitrary level where I'll put my trading view alert, and then this will be the target. Stop loss will be just below consolidation box and this previous support we used in the past, 2.39. That's phenomenal. And I'll put an alert at 1.24856. Again, you guys can get notified on the app. So if you have this app on your phone or open on a browser, you'll get that thing. You'll get that email. You can get email sent, and I believe they have an SMS option. Yeah, send email to SMS. So there's so many options to get these alerts, and you're always going to be in the know if you set them up correctly. So that's a potential setup that I see for this week, and I'm very hopefully it happens, because I know we've been pretty patient with pound shorts. If you guys remember, we were waiting for this support to get breached, but we just never got that 4-hour closure. Hopefully this time around it's a different story. So I'll save this and send this through, and then we'll look at pound yen, which I'm also pretty bullish on. Let me just check on YouTube. Hopefully you guys are well. Did not forget about you guys. So someone on YouTube asks again for pound yen. Of course, Mohammed, I'll check that out. Good morning, Ahmed. Good morning, Johnny. Crypto Buddy, the Silent Trader, Jessica, Jared. Hope you guys are well. NFP will be insane. Yes, it will be. Big Ray says he's bullish on EU this week. So am I, buddy. We just need to create a new high, really. What's up, Chance the Singer? Chance the Singer, that's nice. What's up, man? Hope you're well. Next up, pound yen. So I sent a trading view idea on Friday. Now, someone asked me, hey RP, the 4-hour looks pretty good. Should I enter? I told him I usually don't enter on Fridays. Just my opinion. And rightfully so, thank God I didn't. But we do have entry now. If you look over, so remember the past analysis for Friday, and even then, that 4-hour closure was an indecision candle, so you shouldn't really enter anyways. This 4-hour candle was the definition of an indecision candle, equal to the top, bottom, the deal. However, this recent 4-hour candle could turn things into a potential long. You can see a huge hammer, right? A bearish hammer, a very long way to the bottom. What this tells me was price was all the way down here. Buyers pushed it back. And you guys know, just like I just said 2 minutes ago, pound pairs love hammers. They just love it, especially in an uptrend. If you just look at the price action, we had a break of resistance. We came down, we printed a hammer, we had a rally, right? Again, we had an uptrend. We printed a huge hammer, a couple more hammers. We had a huge rally. So, the pound hammers is just perfect connection. It's a match made in heaven, and so we're gonna take advantage of that. We just need this 4-hour candle to be a bit more bullish. Maybe flirt with maybe taking out this high and can go long. So I'll give you guys the particular level you need to crush. 1.134 500 will be nice, just to make sure we don't get faked out. And our R2R again, it's still 3.0. So although we're kind of waiting and eating into the profits by just holding out, the R2R is still pretty close to 3.0. So something like this is going to be possibly on the table. I don't want to jinx it, but Let me just check the 1 hour in case we don't make resistance. So on the 1 hour, you can see here, when we try to clear this level, we printed 2 inverted hammers. And so what we need in this case is the 4 hour, and in particular the 1 hour, to be bullish like this, right? You can see the difference of a candle like this in comparison to a candle like this. This actually tells you that it's time to go long. This might tell you that, hey, it's time to go short. And so that's what we're looking for, guys. And entry could be around 134.622. I'll just put a trading alert somewhere around there. Now the first take profit will probably be 135. Nice psychological level, 135. Okay, and then next we'll target 135,500. And then finally, 136 flat or 136.310 is fine as well. So this is what we'll see, and again, this 4 hour closure is just arbitrary. Obviously, you can't forecast where it'll close. It could close here, it could close all the way up here. But you just adjust your stop loss accordingly. So if it closes up here, obviously your stop loss will then be below this previous resistance. You adjust it accordingly, and that is that. So I'll send this chart work in as well, and I'll go back to the 4 hour time frame to make sure people enter based on the 4 hour and not the 1 hour. So looks like a pretty good week is in store for us, guys. Just gotta be patient. Alright, so let me quickly go through some of these other pairs. Awesome, man. Welcome. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to find a common pair. I was gonna do gold, but most people don't really trade gold here. Let's see, oil. Oil is a common one. I think Mateus wants it, and so does Jay. So we'll look at oil. Then we'll look at USD CHF and CAD yen. BTC if I have time. Okay, let's see what we have for time. We're right at 39 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna have to start hauling some butt here. Alright, so oil, I kind of jumped the gun and actually entered short, but this was a trade setup we discussed on Friday, and just to clear things up, to clear the air, the reason why we have 2 lines here is because this first one is basically the kind of risk-seeking entry. It's people who are just trying to get into the trade. That's people like me. I don't really like to be patient. But nonetheless, this, we were just waiting for the 4 hour closure below this level. Entered this morning just off the basis that we were stuck below this level, and the COVID, almost said it. The pandemic is actually set to get worse this week. This week is very important, and the reason why I'm saying is that because a lot of the tests are backlogged, right? So it might not be the pandemic getting worse, but the numbers will increase just because the tests are backlogged. They did like 50,000 tests in Canada, and this morning I think around 350 came out positive. And that's not 350 cases positive in a day. It's just all these tests have been backlogged. Staff, is working overtime. So a lot of these numbers are yet to be released, and a lot of these tests have yet to be validated. So I think this week in particular is going to be important to see how much social distancing has helped, and number 2, what the actual numbers of the test results say, because a lot of the tests are backed up. So I just entered short. I'm currently around entry, but for oil, if you don't want to be like me and you're okay with sitting in drawdown, wait for a bearish 4 hour closure below 20.06 per barrel. Very similar to Friday's analysis, and if you enter here, the R2R is going to be very similar. Obviously, you have to cut down on the stop loss. It's going to be around 2.4, right? If you enter somewhere here, price closes down here, it's going to be very unlikely that it closes above here. If it comes back above here, it's most likely going to go long, and you'll cut the bleeding short. But around here is fine. Our final target, for now at least, is $17 per barrel. I think it's totally plausible. What is of key importance is Trump and a lot of these prime minister, presidents are speaking every day. For example, Trudeau actually spoke 30 minutes ago. These guys are speaking every day about the pandemic. So Trump might intervene about the oil prices. Who knows? He might stockpile some more. So that may kind of shift the bias. But I don't know if he can stockpile enough. And we still have that oil war going on with Russia and them boys. So we'll just wait for a 4-hour closure below $20 per barrel, and we'll take this thing down. So I'll save this and send it through. I think I did send it on Friday, but just to be sure, I'll send it through. Okay, next up, CAD Yen. You guys love CAD Yen. I wonder why. I've never been too fond of the pair, to be honest. But anything for you guys. So CAD Yen, let's see. Didn't really do a whole much of nothing. Now I wonder if this is an old chart or a new chart. Oh, there you go, perfect. So CAD Yen's a heartbreaker. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame and show you guys what's up. So we had a potential short idea. We just never really got the entry we wanted, somewhere down here. And so let's remove this. Right now there is a chance for a short as price comes back, trying to close back below the support zone. Anytime we've closed down below, we did head to make new lows, particularly at 74.333. So you can see that in the past we do have sell-offs when we come to below the support. Now, right now, we are printing a hammer off the support, so if you're in shorts, I'd be cautious. It could make a rally back up to these resistance levels at 77.821, right? Obviously, for shorts, I'd wait for a 4-hour closure. Something down here to take us down to 74.333. But this support has to break, right? The support has to break. And even then, it might be a bit wishy-washy just because in the past when we do break the support, we had several wicks to the top side, and you would have got stopped out. But then this thing ended up playing out. So not the ideal price action for CAD Yen. I don't really know what's really affecting it right now. But the Canadian government, the Trudeau government, is doing what they can. I think they have an $85 billion stimulus package for Canadians. So I mean that technically should bring the CAD down, but I don't know how much. I don't know. This thing doesn't really entice me for a setup. I mean, if you're jumping for an entry, I guess wait for this 4-hour closure and then apply the principles we know. But I don't want to give setups that I don't feel confident about, just because I'm dealing with people. You guys use your real money to trade, and I don't like giving poor advice here. Then again, these are just trades I'm taking, and you guys could choose to follow along. But CAD Yen is something that I do not really trade, so I wish I could give you something more. But I guess wait for a 4-hour closure. Right around 76. Right, if a 4-hour closure comes near 76 flat, and I'll put an alert. I'll just notify on Discord when this closure happens for whoever's interested, and quickly give you a setup, and then I can go over the other pairs. Something like this might be worth taking. Whoops. 2.29, not bad, right? So I'm just gonna stop the screen so you can take the levels down. And alright, cool. Next up, USD CHF. I think this is a pair that is also almost ready to go. Oh, I jinxed it. Never mind. I was thinking of taking this thing short, but my golly, this thing kind of just 180 on me. Checking the Discord, making sure everyone's good. BTC, okay. USD CHF, USD yen, euro yen, oil. Okay, cool. So I mean, this thing I wanted to take the short. Obviously, Sunday's market open Friday's market closure brought this thing all the way down here. So I was thinking NFP would drive this thing all the way down to these levels here. But this thing has other plans. So I'll keep a watch on this. Obviously, this is could just be a new lower high. Obviously, it hasn't cleared this high, but we'll see. I'll just put an alert down here. I was pretty excited, on Sunday's market open that we might have this, but guess not. I'll do one more pair recommendation. We're at 47 minutes. It's fine. Really quickly, and hope you guys on YouTube are well. I'm taking pair recommendations from YouTube as well as Portal. Hey Sheldon, thanks for the nice comments, man. Sheldon's been an OG member who has made huge strides in the trading room. Shout out to Sheldon. USD yen. Let's take a look at USD yen. Why not? Because it is a common pair among you guys. And then Magnus wants NSD CHF, NSD yen, Aussie yen. We'll go for Aussie yen and USD yen. Okay. And anything else, I'll just send my personal remarks through Discord. So Aussie yen, this thing is so troublesome. It's so it doesn't know what it's doing. So we were waiting for a short. Obviously, our alert's still here. It's not been activated, so we're gonna scratch that idea. Tough luck. Let me just remove some of these horizontal rays. These are just for our personal short ideas. Now we can head back to the daily time frame and see what's up. So the daily time frame is showing some bullish momentum here, and I can't believe I'm saying that about Aussie yen, especially during this pandemic. But I have to go based on what the price action is telling me. The price action is telling me this thing wants to shoot to the upside. Now I'm not sure if we have. Let me just double check if there's any Aussie fundamentals this week. There's business confidence for New Zealand dollar, which is semi-correlated. We do have Chinese manufacturing PMI today, and that is heavily correlated with the Australian dollar. So it is forecasted to come out better than expected. So this could be good for the Australian dollar. So the technicals are telling us to push to the upside. And we can see, we pushed down. We had an indecision candle here, another indecision candle, then a hammer, a bullish engulfing, inverted hammer. And the next three or so days were just a bullish hammer, a bullish hammer, a bullish hammer. Price does not want to go lower. It just wants to stay above. And this tells me this thing wants to launch above. This thing wants to launch possibly to fill up this gap. It hasn't not filled up this gap. So I think this would be a nice target zone. Let's check the 4 hour. And yeah, so the 4 hour provides a bit more insight. So ideally, we want to close above this resistance on the 4 hour time frame. On the 4 hour time frame, you can see price made a previous rally, right, and got stuck, and this is a fake out, and the price came back down. And this is why I like going off the basis of 4 hour closures. For example, so this is a resistance we just determined, right? Now this is a nice 4 hour closure. This candle right here, very big body, very little wick to the bottom or top. And if you enter long here, right? If you entered long after this candle, you would have made around 74 pips. Now we take profits every 25 pips and move stops to entry. So you still could have made a nice chunk of pips, even though this thing was considered a quote-unquote fake out. Now what we want, again, is for a 4 hour closure to replicate this candle. Essentially take this candle right here, or something like that, just a bullish candle, and have it occur here, okay? And obviously the first target, will probably be this high, right? We need to clear this previous attempt to obviously target the gap, which is at 69.600. So look for a 4 hour bearish candle. It could be a candle like this. It could be a hammer. You guys know the drill. If you're looking for what is a bearish and bullish candle, I've sent the actual pictures on Discord. I believe it's in the user requested TA. Give it a look and keep those things in your wallet, in your passport holder, in your bathroom mirror, all devices, because that thing is the tool you need to determine candle closures, or just remember them. But that's what we look for Aussie yen, and this coincides with our pound yen long, right? This week we're trying to take advantage of the yen, but we do have to take notice of it being a safe haven, and the pandemic is still ongoing, and it does look like it's going to get worse. So we'll see what happens. But I put an alert at 66.671 crossing up. 4-hour closure is key. Whoops, and we could possibly have something like this. Yeah, I think that's a good stop loss. Even though it's not 2.0, I'm not hell bent on it making it 2.0, but based on just the price action, in case we do have some consolidation after we break this level, and we do wick down here, I don't want us to get stopped up. It has a tendency to wick, very deep before it does rally up. So 1.89, pretty close to 2.0, and we'll take it. So I'll send this through to you guys. And obviously the long-term target is up here. But for an intraday perspective, we're going to be targeting here. So that is all dandy. I'll send this through. Okay, one more pair recommendation. Then I'll give the 50% off coupon code to get your first month in the trading room for 50% off. And stay tuned for that. So next up is we did NSD yen. Was it NSD yen? Oh, USD yen. Okay, USD yen. Okay, USD yen. So last week we had a pretty simple short just off 4-hour resistance. Very simple. This week again, shoot, it was a pretty good entry to go short on Thursday. We had a nice 4-hour closure, bearish, some consolidation, and a very significant sell-off. Obviously, since then we've kind of showed a reluctancy to go lower. We printed a hammer, rally up, and now another hammer. So USD yen's trying to make a push back up to this support that it crushed at 108.818. I'd probably look for signs of rejection. I think this week pairs will take advantage of the yen, so even USD, which is expected to be weak, might make some gains, but we'll see what NFP has to say about that. So this thing will probably make a retrace to there. Look for signs of rejection to take this thing back lower. Again, the rejection has to be on the 4-hour time frame. A bearish candle like this, taking it down, should confirm you, but nothing in hindsight. And let me just see how many setups we covered. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 potential setups. That's pretty good for, a Monday. Someone asked for BTC, so I'll give it a quick look. And we are at 55 minutes. So I wanted to keep this under 1 hour just so I don't bore you guys. But, a lot needs to be covered, especially on Mondays. So BTC, and this is not the chart I use. Where to go? Coinbase. Alright, so BTC. My goodness. Terrible consolidation. But the longs look good. I said this before. This is these arrows. I should remove them, but they provide a pretty good idea of what's happening. And last week 2 weeks ago, we drew this arrow. I said BTC might be annoying and make that full retrace to this trend line, show rejection, and then go lower. And it all makes sense. It's all part of a large game plan on the monthly time frame. You can see this trend line dating back to 2017. We're just following it, BTC had a trouble closing a body outside of the trend line. It didn't do it here, didn't do it here. For the past, past 8 months, it could never close above or outside of this trend line until the start of the pandemic. But afterwards, this thing came back down. So obviously, this monthly candle is pretty dang bullish, right? It's pretty bullish. It's a very bearish hammer with a long way to the bottom. So, it could really make another rally for 13,000. it depends if it clears it out, if it breaks above this trend line, outside of this trend line, like if you get a candle, somewhere out here, something like this, then I have to give it to BTC. It's gonna make a rally to 13,000. That's just the facts. Can't really get emotional about it, but I was really hoping 3,000 would get touched this year, but maybe not. So we'll see. But that's my idea for BTC. Checking YouTube, GA, and Euro Aussie. So some last minute pair recommendations. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, because I value you guys, your opinion, your time, and obviously your money. I am not going to give my personal take on GA or Euro Aussie with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to spare. I guess I can. I'll do Pound Aussie. Because they're pretty correlated. Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie are pretty correlated, so why not? So Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie, I'm looking for longs. I'm pretty bullish on the pound this week, and we'll go quickly. Now, don't mind these levels, guys. I don't know if I told you guys, I'm working on a scalping strategy. I've been trying it on the demo. It's heavily predicated on the pound pairs. In particular, the hammers, and it's a work in progress, but I've just been doodling on my charts. Let me quickly remove these levels. But anyways, the Pound Aussie price action is ugly. The weekly time frame is disgusting. Huge 900 pip wicks to the upside, 500 pip wicks to the downside. It's total mess. But what it is telling us is the overall bias, especially on the daily, is a long, right? Despite all this chaos, we're still technically in an uptrend, and all it's going to take really, you can see what's happening right now, is we're inching closer and closer to a daily closure above the series of resistance, right? Once we get a daily closure above this level, and try to zoom in here. So for example, today's daily closure, if we can close like this, something like this would be the perfect signal for a long, and I'd be more than happy to enter. Obviously, you can see we've had trouble doing that, and even in the past, we've gone out of our way to wick through this kind of level here. This level is at 2.07600. Going to the 4-hour time frame, let's see if the 4-hour can give us some idea. So on the 4-hour time frame, we did have a potential entry on the 27th. That is Friday at 5 p.m. So this was at market closure. So at market closure, we had a 4-hour closure. Above this support, right at the market closure. Pretty crazy for that to happen, but it did. Sunday, just trickled down, stayed here, etc., etc. All we have to wait for is that next candle like this to happen, and we should be able to go long. Now, if you're risk seeking, you could technically enter long right now, because the bullish presence is there. We had a huge bullish engulfing candle. We had a few hammers. If we're gonna go down here, sellers would have took us down here, but we haven't yet. So, the momentum's there. The buyers are there. Who knows if it's just contract accumulation, but for me, I want to give you guys the best entry, and that's going to happen when we get, crossing up. I'm going to put an alert at 2.03361, just above these past wicks and this past attempt to go higher. If we get a 4-hour closure like this, above this level, once again, we're going along, and we'll have this as our R2R for the setup. So we're going along here, and then our stop loss will just be right below this zone. So 3.15, a bit more conservative stop loss should be around, or right around here. So still a 2.3 R2R long setup. So that's what I see, and Euro Aussie is pretty correlated with Pound Aussie. So I think this is the setup we'll be looking for this week. And take profits every 25 to 30 pips. I have my alert set up. If I'm awake and I'm available, I'll let you know the levels in particular. But every 25 to 30 pips is fine. But then again, this thing moves 50 pips an hour, so you might get more. I am never boring. Thank you for your kind words, Jessica. So I'll send this through to Discord, Jessica, and get that through you. Jolami, Euro Aussie is just the same principle. Let me just quickly give you a quick look. Euro Aussie actually might have a short. It's crazy the contrast, but it might have a short actually. Heck, yeah. So quick analysis. Last week we did take a short on this. Just have a break of 4-hour support. All we have to do is wait for another break of this 4-hour support we created here, and we're good for shorts. This is actually a simple analysis, so I don't mind. But look for a 4-hour closure below. Make sure you note this level down, 1.78596. A 4-hour closure down here. Go ahead and enter short. Your stop loss would probably be at 1.80860, and take profits every 25 to 30 pips. Alright, so that's all the pairs covered, and this is the coupon code to get 50% off the trading room. Now, this is first 50, this is the number 0, and what this gives you is our live sessions run Monday through Friday. Mondays are free session, Fridays are free session, but when we enter trades, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which is for the paid members. When you become a trade room member, you get access to all my sessions and 5 signal providers, and full access to our Discord, where we have our signal providers, analysis from not only me but other traders, based on Elliott wave theory, price action, indicators, ISET, you name it, it's there. You want to take advantage, all you have to do, it's very simple, is go to forexlens.com. Once you're there, go to Forex Trading Room. This is what it is, and click Get Full Access. Fill out this form, and then click Next. When you click Next, at the bottom of your cart, there'll be Add a Promo Code feature. Add first 50 to get 50% off. It'll only be $48.50 for live teaching and 5 signal providers for a month. That is the tab for dinner. That is the tab for nights out drinking with the buddies. Why would you not spend it? Invest in yourself. These are the market conditions that are easy to predict. So now's the time to make that money. And